Let's get Honorable Swart to ask his supplementary question.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Thank you, Minister, for the admission. We all know that the public sector wage bill is unsustainable. And the point that you are making is that National Treasury indicates that the average remuneration in the public sector is higher than in the rest of the economy. So that is an issue of concern. However, what I'd like to ask you about, and I know you indicated that there's a lot of detail still needs to be sorted out, but we know that the new negotiations for the next wage settlement will start next year. And so one of the concerns has been in the past that the settlement has been above the consumer price index. And whilst we from the ACDP appreciate a lot of people, police, nurses are doing incredible good jobs, how will we ensure that that increase, if anything, is sustainable when you look at the fiscus sustainability and the fiscal consolidation path that is required to bring our government debt levels into alignment? Thank you.
Honourable Minister.
Deputy Speaker, you are hitting the core of the challenge that we have, all of us. On one hand, by the time you start that round of negotiations, you already have money in the pocket of public servants, as it were, arising from the agreements that have been reached in the past rounds of discussion. And already that's a problem. Now, we've decided, among other things, to start as early as now to engage with organized labor at all levels. One, at a political level, secondly, at a chamber level. Just to point out that we really are facing quite difficult issues at the moment to reach consensus at that level. In other words, we're at a point where the state has this and that problem, and let's open up, let's be genuine about that, and then we start dealing with the figures. This is how we're going to try and approach. But as I say, it won't include taking money that is already there in the pocket of civil servants, but it rather is focusing on the future to say what kind of, you will realize that the last two rounds of negotiations went far beyond what could have been affordable at the time in terms of the coffers of the state. That is one of the things that we'll need to avoid this time around. And starting early is important.
Thank you.
Honorable Swart.
Thank you, House Chair. Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Minister, we are fully aware of the financial deterioration in municipalities, with uncollected revenues growing by 17% to 147 billion, and overdue accounts owed by municipalities have grown by 52% to 36 billion. Half of that owed to Eskom, which is a later question. Now, in view of the above and the poor financial performance by municipalities, can it be justified to consider increasing the equitable share formula? Now, I've already said in Parliament that we need to consider that, but surely one must first get the municipalities' houses in order before one can give them additional funds. And if you agree with that, then how do we do that to improve get the houses in order? I support additional funding, but we've first got to get the municipalities' financial houses in order. Thank you.
Honourable Minister.
Thank you. You know, some of the municipalities are not able to even spend their meek grant. One, because they can't attract professionals in their space because their revenue is small. They are not, even when they come, some of the engineers go there just to get a bit of experience. Once they get it, they are gone. Financial expertise, they don't stay there. Planning expertise. So some of the municipalities don't have the professionals that they need to actually put their house in order. And it is for that reason that earlier I said that we need to work in such a way that we at least ensure that in every district, those expertise are there, so that if even if they can't be in every municipality, but they can be shared in that space. So I agree, but we can't just say put your house in order when they don't have the professionals they need. So we need to improve their capacity. And once we have improved their capacity, they'll be able to spend what they need to spend. But also, in terms of revenue, we also must remember, let me give you an example. When there is no water in a locality, there is a drought or whatever, and the municipality has to deliver water to the area with water tankers. That water is not metered and is not paid for, but the municipality has paid for it from the water board. So these are all the things when all these formulas and everything were put in place that were not considered. That when a municipality delivers water in a rural space with tankers, who pays for that water? So we can blame the municipalities. I'm not excusing them. I'm saying, yes, there are problems. Some of them are corrupt. Some of them are what? But also there are genuine problems that we have not addressed properly. So even if that municipality pays for the water that's metered, they will still owe for the water that was delivered with tankers to the rural community.
Thank
so
you.
there are lots of examples like that. Thank you.
Thank you. Agbare lid Swart.
Thank you, House Chair. Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Minister, you correctly indicate that this is a very complex issue with a culture of non-payment that does need to be addressed, and we should all try to assist in that regard. I would like to just focus on the one area, and that is, as we know, many municipalities, in fact, all buy their bulk services, whether it is water or electricity, from the bulk service providers, and that is seen as part, they then sell it on. Is it not possible, the fact that they are selling it on and deriving revenue, to ring-fence that revenue that they obtain for selling electricity to consumers or selling water, to ring-fence it, which will enable and ensure that those funds are then paid over to the bulk service providers? That could be a possible option to resolve this outstanding debt. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much. Yes, I think it's an option, but I think, as you say yourself, it's complex, because in some instances, they buy the services and they sell them at a less than the price they're buying it. So even if they are paying everything that they get, they still owe. So we are also trying to work with them so that they don't buy from Eskom, for example, 10 rands and sell for 8 rands, because they will forever be owing Eskom if they do that. But some of the municipalities are actually doing that. And they
Ngiyaxolisa kubalekela imike ma.
njengoba iseduze kangaka kwami.
Ayizwa manje iyazwakala manje.
Did you hear me? Okay, thank you. He heard. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you.